My name is Jack Dearborn. I'm chairman of the Zoning Board of Adjustments, Town of Ware. This is the June 1st, 2021 meeting. This evening, we have four cases. We have case 07-2021, case 11-2021, case 12-2021, and case number 13-2020. Before we start, we have received a request for case 11-2021, and there's Woodbridge properties from the owner, Higgins Land Survey as applicant, Peasley Hill Road, tax map 405-020, rural agricultural zone, and it's a variance to Article 28, Section 28.9. So we have received a request from the for the case, and rather than keep everybody waiting around, what we'd like to do is take that up at this point. Has been requested by the applicant. So with that said, is there a motion to continue the case 11-2021 till July 13th?
We would continue case 2021 to July 13th.
Thank you, Mike. Is there a second? Bobby?
Second. Okay.
Who made the second?
Bobby did.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I had to be unmuted.
Okay, sorry.
Second.
Okay. Okay, any discussion on that?
And you said the 13th.
Of July, yeah, because the date falls right after the holiday. And some people have vacation time, and it's usually we do kick it to the second week. We did the calendar this year, and it was an oversight. So with that said, any other discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Mike?
Aye.
Mike's aye. Bobby Joe?
Aye.
Thank you. Mark?
Aye.
Thank you. Malcolm? Malcolm?
I just missed part of that. I just lost my sound. What
Are you hearing me
transpired
now?
there? Yes, I am now, just
Oh.
now. So
Look,
Give
I
me a
was
quick
asking
catch-up.
for your vote to continue the case that you.
oh,
did.
yes, continue.
Thank you.
Sorry
And
about that.
I'll Jack too. So that's 5-0. Thank you. Okay, that'll be continued till July 13th. Now, before I take up the other cases, let me explain how we run the meeting and how we proceed through the cases. With that said, we'll take each case individually, and I will announce the case as a chair, read the synopsis of the case, and then I will ask well, first I'll make sure that we seat the appropriate people for the vote. Tonight we have 5 people and all 5 members. At this point, would you please introduce yourself? Mark?
Mark Moretti, member.
Bobby?
Bobby Joe Plamondon, member.
Mike?
Michael Meyer, member.
And Malcolm.
Malcolm Wright, member.
So these will be the members for this evening's cases. So what I will do is read the synopsis of the case, then I'll ask for a motion in the positive, meaning move to accept. And the reason we do that is because yes means yes, no means no. And then I'll ask for a second. And I'll ask if there's any discussion, should there be any discussion. What we do this for is to accept the application. We want to make sure there's enough information here for us to hear it. Should we get into the meeting after accepting the application, then should we find anywhere during the case that there may be additional information required, we will, one or two things. We'll either dismiss the case if it's improperly filled out, or if there's additional information that needs to be provided, we will grant the continuance with conditions for the reason. Okay, if that's not either one of those cases is not the case, then we move on. I will ask the applicant to please be able to speak, be unmuted. And the applicant will read, in the case of the variance, which we have this evening, except for one, ask him to read the actual question in the 5 prongs and their answer that they have. And the reason for this is a lot of people on tonight and video, YouTube in the future video, won't know what questions are being asked. So I would ask the applicants to do that. Once we have the applicant read all 5 points, 5 prongs, points of hardship, and the answers. At that point, I will ask the board if they have any questions of the applicant. If there is none, then I'll ask the applicant to be muted. Then I'll ask for any approving abutters wish to speak. And we'll do our best to recognize. And Naomi has got the command for muting people and unmuting people. So it may take us a little time to recognize people. So if you are interested, you can either raise your hand or electronically raise your hand, I guess, so you can be recognized. Once we go through all approving abutters that wish to speak, then I will ask for disapproving abutters that wish to speak. We'll take each one individually. After that, I'll ask for other boards and public at large. After that, I will ask the applicant if they wish to rebut anything that may have been said. After that, I will ask for, again, approving abutters who wish to speak, disapproving, public at large, other boards. After that, I will close down the public hearing. And at that point, the ZBA members on the board will deliberate and we will vote this evening on it. Once we've completed the voting, it'll either be approved with conditions, denied with conditions, or continued for reason. And we will do that. If it is continued, it'll be per date certain, which will be the next meeting, scheduled meeting. With that said, then we'll pick up the next case until we complete it. After that, we've got other business in the form of minutes, and we will take that up after the public meeting or the case meeting. Okay, at this point, let me do this. First case for the evening will be, this is for property location, Chester Drive, 18 Chester Drive, 07-2021 case number. The tax map is 103 lot 1, 2.05 acres residential. This is applicant's address is 133 Cottage Road, Ware, New Hampshire. Owner's address the same, applicant. And there is a list of abutters. There is the applicant is Michael Colburn / Lakeshore Village Realty Holding LLC. And this is for a variance to Article 3, parentheses 3.5.1. There is 5 points of hardship enclosed. There is a signature from Michael Colburn, property owner. There is a garage for an elevation. There is a copy of, there is a, let's see here. I don't know what this excerpt is from. Is this a deed? Yes. Looks like a warranty, oh, it's backwards. Warranty deed. And the deed is 221, February 21st, 2020. And there's a property card, list of abutters, bunch of abutters. And there is a map here of the a tax map showing circled with number 6. And there's also a topography map filled out by Arcis Liano. And it shows a significant roll off, a very steep roll off, heading towards the southeast on the property. So to that end, do I have a motion to accept case 07-2021?
Move to accept case 07-2021.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Bobby?
Second.
Thank you, Bobby. And is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Malcolm,
Aye.
and Mark,
Aye.
and myself, aye, 5/0. Okay. Mike, are you
I'm here.
around?
Yes. How are you?
Good. If you would please, does the board have any questions of the applicant before we start? Being none, Mr. Coleman, would you please read the question in bold and your answer, please?
Absolutely. How's everybody doing?
Very well.
Would anybody like a little history of this or just get into it?
Well, you're welcome to say a few words if you want.
Yeah.
So just a couple of things. This land was developed by my grandfather back in the late 40s. He owned it prior to that, but he developed this land, and we have some lakefront cabins. Won't get into the details there. We had some rental units, and then this particular property that our house is sitting on currently was built by him as a ski lodge. It's actually one of New Hampshire. It's a site where it's one of New Hampshire's lost ski areas. If you Google New Hampshire lost ski areas, you can find Lakeview ski area. So he built this building. We had two ski slopes, 2 rope tows, and a couple of trails. So he had it in operation for I'd say about 12 or 13 years, and that was through the 50s. And in the early 60s, it ceased to exist because Pat's Peak was a much better option for families to go skiing. They didn't like the rope tow; they liked the chairlift or the T-bar. So over the years, there's been three or four owners that have owned the property, and it became overgrown. It's got a nice view of the lake, and we were fortunate enough a couple of years ago to be able to purchase it back, which was great. And we did so. We cleared the land so we could get the view back, and then we also took the existing home that was here, and it was pretty old. It was built obviously back in the late 40s, early 50s. So we tore that down. We were unable to really work with it and do anything. So we tore it down, bought the property back, and since then, Jack and I have built a home. We've been here just a little over a year, I think now.
Duplicated the ski lodge.
Pretty much duplicated the ski lodge. We sort of put the building exactly where the ski lodge was. We have all glass in the front, so it has that same view that the ski lodge had at one point. So it's kind of cool. So here we are, and as Jack mentioned, the land is rather steep, and I mean, hence the ski area. So our house sits here now. We have really no place to put the garage except for, within the setback there, which is why we're here to meet with you folks to see if we can get approval here to build ourselves a 24 by 28 garage. So, any questions?
Wrong one, please.
All right, so we'll go through, we'll read the questions. Number 1, the variance will not be contrary to the public interest. This is a residential neighborhood where most other houses have garages. Therefore, a garage on this lot will not conflict with character of the neighborhood, threaten the public health, safety, or welfare, or otherwise injure any public rights. Number 2, please describe how the spirit of the ordinance is observed. This garage would be built on a non-conforming residential lot, but would not negatively impact the comfort, peace, quiet, or enjoyment of the neighborhood, or cause significant disturbance or unreasonable annoyance to anyone in the area. It will not reduce property values. It is likely to enhance them. 3, please describe how substantial justice is done. This is a residential lot where a single-family house already exists. This lot is non-conforming because it was created prior to 1988, before the zoning setbacks were created. An average size garage is needed to benefit the house. particularly and given the inclement weather we experience in the winter. There is only one reasonable place to put the garage, which falls within the front setback due to the extreme slopes on the lot. Number 4, please describe how the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. This is a very nice residential neighborhood where all homes are above average value and most have garages. This lot and its home construction in 2019 is of the same character. A house such as this and the surrounding houses will benefit from the enhancement of a garage. It will likely enhance property values, not diminish them. Number 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance will result in an unnecessary hardship. The slopes dictate where the garage can be built on this lot. Within the front setback, adjacent to the private road, provides access to this home. That is the only place it can be built. Literal enforcement of the setback provision would prevent the construction of any garage on this residential 2-acre lot. 5A, I'll call it. Do you want me to read the whole thing, owing the special conditions, or just get into the answer?
No,
I'll read the answer.
no, do the I and I, if you would. please.
Okay, 5I. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance and the specific application of that provision to the property. Article 3.5 contemplates buildings on non-conforming lots. The creation of this residential lot predated the creation of lot setbacks. The slopes of this lot require some accommodation for a garage to exist. The resulting construction of a garage is consistent in the purpose of the ordinance and residential living in a rural residential area on a private road. 5 I. Owing the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the proposed use is a reasonable one. Explain how the special conditions of the property and the zoning restrictions interferes with the reasonable use of the property. Given that the lot sizes and houses in this neighborhood are not dense, there will be no actual impact on any other resident. In fact, the side property line closest to the proposed garage abuts a large open space owned by Lakeshore Village Resort, where a community septic system exists. There is no dwelling unit for a significant distance. It is also worth noting the front setback is adjacent to the private road, Chester Drive, the bulk of which is owned and maintained by Lakeshore Village Resort or Lakeshore Village Realty Holdings LLC, the LLC which I am a partner in. I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the board before I open it up to the public? I see none. Okay, any approving abutters wish to speak to this application? Let's see how we can know. I only see 4 boxes. Zach G, I have a picture of a sunset and I guess that's a sunflower, which is Shelley, I guess, to Ket. Do you see anybody electronically raising their hands? Naomi?
I don't know which one Zach is here for.
Zach, can you open Zach up and see who he is?
He's here for Pondview.
Oh,
He's also.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
I'll take
Zach.
it as no approving butters wish to speak on this application. Are there any disapproving butters that wish to speak on this application? Who's the sunset?
He's on Pondview as well.
Okay, sorry. All right, so being none, public at large wish to speak? Do we see anybody, Naomi?
Nope.
Other boards wish to speak? You have an opportunity, Mike, to speak some more if you wish. If not.
I mean, if the board has any questions or if they want to see, I put together a 1.5-minute video that you could look at so you could see the property. I don't know if that's necessary, but if you would
Is
like
it
me to-
technically possible?
Yes.
Who says yes? You do it on
Right.
Zoom?
We can share the screen.
If I can, yeah, Jackie is able to do this.
Ah,
All right, so I just let them share the screen, Jackie, go ahead.
go ahead, Jackie.
Okay, give me
It's
a-
in your hands.
Pressure.
Give me a second.
It'll just give you a perspective on the lot.
Uh,
Pressure.
Well, it just takes. a
Stop.
second. Right, thank you. You want the first one first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, are you seeing that?
Nope,
Nope.
we just see you.
And yet,
Okay, just a second.
Will it show up on the full screen?
Here
Yeah.
you come.
Now are you seeing it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit play. Thank you.
I need to hit the four-wheeler.
Go ahead and speak.
So this is Chester Drive. Chester Drive, there are 7 homes on Chester Drive, and 4 of those homes we own. This is Sandy and David, my uncle and aunt, who own a home on Chester Drive.
I know.
Pino, excuse me. And then this is Mike and Helen Dutton, who's the local vet in town, and our home is right after Mike's house. And you can see here's Chester Drive, private road, the road that we own and maintain. And there's our home where the site of the old ski lodge used to be. And I just thought I'd give you a little perspective here on the steepness that we have here. I'm going to turn into the driveway here, and where those 2 vehicles are is pretty much where we want to put the garage. It's a 24 by 28 garage. And this will kind of give you an idea of, the steepness and why we're to put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gee, ski. Jack, you used to ski right down there, didn't you?
I used to attempt skiing, yes.
Okay, and then.
And then we had one more coming up from the other angle, just to give you an idea of the steepness, but we'll play it quick. This is only like 20 seconds.
This is from the bottom looking up. Doesn't do it justice in terms of the steepness.
Yeah, so there'll be no other houses anywhere there. That parcel that we own at Lakeshore Village, part of the community that we have, is abuts the land here. And we have a nice community septic system down at the bottom of the hill there. So there really will not be any other homes built on Chester Drive. That's just giving you that angle. That's about it. Just thought it might help you to visualize what we have.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Just to make sure nobody wishes to speak before we move on. At this point, I'm going to shut down the public part of the meeting, and the ZBA will deliberate. Okay, could I have a motion to approve prong 1 of 07-2021?
I move to accept on 1 of 2021, 07-2021, excuse me.
A second.
Thank you, Bobby. Okay, at this point, do we have any discussion?
Nope.
I recognize myself. I did look at this property. I went up there and looked, and the road is a 50-foot setback. And that'll practically be almost on his doorstep where he built. You couldn't go down the hill any further because you thought that this side we saw was a precipitous drop. The other one's even worse, heading towards the lake. The nature of where the road is, it looks like there's a lot of room, but the dimensions of the road is really skewed towards the property. So most of the road is crabbed over to on the video going down the hill, be the left-hand side. And so he would need to have a variance to no more than 8.5 feet. Is that correct? Right. So setback relief, no closer to the road, Chester, make sure I say it right. Chester Drive, no more than 8.5 feet. As far as this goes, it's a very nice neighborhood. Most of those houses grew up over the last 40 years. It's a well-established residential area, and I don't think it'll be a big issue, any impact. Let's see, Mike, you have anything to say?
I think you've summed it up. You know, it's a garage, and that seems to be the standard, especially in that neighborhood. And the video definitely helped kind of give us a view of the severity of the slope. So yeah, I agree with your assessment.
Bobby?
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. Mark?
I feel that Mike just covered it right there with the slope and the, it's not an issue.
Malcolm?
Well done. I'm ready to vote.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor of prong one, let's do this. Mike?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
And Malcolm?
Aye.
And I, Jack. So that's a 5-0. Number two, same condition.
Would you accept prong two?
Second.
Thank you, Bobby. Again, this spirit of the others, I see it's reasonable to have a garage here. It's allowed in the zone. The only complicating issue is the slope of the lot, given also the proximity of the road, how it actually is very far away, but it's cut into the property. So I agree with this. Mike, any?
Nope, you've got it. You covered it.
Thank you. Bobby?
I agree.
Mark?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with this.
Malcolm?
All good.
Thank you. Okay. With that, I will, Mike, will you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Bobby?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
Okay, so that's 5-0. Okay, number three. Mike, would you motion?
Move to accept prong three?
Second.
And discussion? Again, I think the nature of the lot, and I don't really think there'll be any injustice done to the town of Ware, and significant justice for the actual homeowner itself, the lot owner and the property. Okay, Mike,
I concur.
Bobby,
Yes, I agree.
Mark,
Yeah, no, it's a reasonable.
Malcolm.
All good.
Okay, and now we're going to Mike, what's your vote?
Aye.
Bobby Joe
Aye.
and Mark
Aye.
and Malcolm.
Aye.
And I am 5-0. I vote aye. Okay, 4,
Move to accept prong four?
second,
Second.
and discussion. I mean, I frankly can't see how this would diminish any properties around the neighborhood.
No, it looks like a nice area.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, very good. All those in favor, Mark? Excuse me, Mike?
Aye.
Bobby Joe?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
And Jack? Aye. And 5 is an entirety.
Move to
Motion.
accept prong five in its entirety?
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. I think two big issues here is certainly is a reasonable use. And it is be an unnecessary hardship to the property, to the property if it was refused. So I think it passes.
I agree.
I
I
agree.
agree as well.
Okay, so Mike,
Aye.
Mark, Bobby, and Malcolm all agree.
Aye.
Okay, Mike's aye. Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm,
Aye.
and Jack, aye. 5-0. Okay, 5-0 means they all passed with 5 votes with 0 no's.
So Jack,
Got it.
before you move on, where does your condition come in?
It won on the beginning.
Okay, the first point.
Well, yeah, it's for the
Okay.
first one. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
that's all right.
And just to review that, it's no closer than 8.5 feet to the road. Okay. Okay, now we've taken care of the first two. And now we're gonna go to case 12-2021. And this case is Joel Lear and Robin Peretz, owners, and Brittany and Porter Weeks, Highland Design applicants, 104 Pondview Road, tax map 108-073, residential zone variance, Article 28, section 28.9. Applicant is seeking a variance into installation of a stone stairs to provide safe access to existing dock and pond, and implementation of a 160 square foot what's that, Perched Beach, a gent? I don't understand what that means. Somebody speak to this? Yeah,
Yeah, it's a perched beach. It's basically what the state calls a water access structure that's essentially a little landing.
oh,
Yeah.
is that
it's just
aluminum
sand.
thing I saw?
It's where the the dock is. We'd be creating the perch beach as opposed to just a beach of sand going into the lake, so it's retained.
I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
I never heard the term. Thank you. Okay, let me finish this up.
Yep.
It's 104 Pondview. There is 5 points of hardship completed. Application signed. Butters. A list of a compliance for the checklist. 2 maps. One looks like a, let's see if I get this, land surveyor. This is J.E. Belanger's land survey. And it's existing condition plan showing what they currently have. And then there's another showing here, Highland Design. And this is showing a path going down to this 168 Perched Beach, which is really behind the dock. Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the application, please?
Move to accept case 12-2021.
Thank you. Second, any discussion? I just like to note that I did show up today and met the owner, and I took the treacherous trip down the hill on the current rocks and the stumps and the existing walkway, which is pretty aggressive. And I can see why they would like to improve that. So I did speak with them. I saw it. I didn't realize what a perched beach was, but now I understand. So moving on. Any other questions from the board? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mike. Bobby,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm?
Is this for accepting the application?
Yes,
Yes, aye,
thank you.
making sure.
And 5 is mine is 5. Thank you. So it's 5-0. To this red page. Okay, on the 5 points of hardship, who's going to speak to this evening?
I can.
Okay, and state your name, please.
Brittany Weeks from
Thank you.
Highland Design.
And please read the bolded question and read your answer, if you would, please.
So the first question, the variance will not be contrary to the public interest because, so I'm going to go through the answer. The proposed stairs will be made from natural bluestone and will range in width from 3 to 4 feet. They will be built to minimize disturbance to the surrounding vegetation and terrain. The landings between the flights of steps will be constructed in a way that allows them to be pervious. Natural boulders will be strategically placed in areas adjacent to the steps to transition grade and provide planting pockets for native vegetation flanking the path. The pathway will be located so as to minimize tree removals and maintain the natural beauty and character of the shoreline of Mount William Pond. The proposed perched beach will be located within a very small footprint and is only intended to allow enough space for 2 or 3 chairs at most. The beach configuration will be quite biomorphic and will ultimately be informed by the surrounding ledge and larger boulders. It will be constructed using no more than 6 cubic yards of clean washed beach sand. Natural boulders will be added to the existing hardened shoreline along the perched beach, allowing the perched beach to be level and to separate it from the water. Filter fabric will be placed underneath the sand to prevent erosion, and plantings will be added around the beach to further inhibit runoff. A combination of filter socks and silt fencing will be installed prior to any construction to prevent erosion. And then there's a detail on the plan. Number 2. Describe how the spirit of the ordinance is observed. The intent is simply to provide safe access to Mount William Pond so that the homeowner and their family are able to enjoy low-intensity uses such as swimming, kayaking, and wildlife viewing. The homeowner loves the natural appearance of the shoreline and wishes to minimize disturbance and maintain this character. Therefore, the design of the walkway and perched beach is such that it will allow for safe access and enjoyment by using the smallest footprint to do so, and employing the best construction practices to ensure the long-term health and safety of the surrounding environment. The intent is not only to do no harm, but to leave the site improved upon by minimizing erosion through the use of pervious technology and through the addition of beneficial native plant material. Number 3, please describe how substantial justice is done. Substantial justice is, yep.
Go ahead.
Substantial justice is done because there is currently no access to the water and existing dock besides walking over rough and steep terrain. In addition, most of the neighboring properties around Mount William Pond currently have access to the pond in ways that have either a similar or much larger impact on both the health and character of the pond and shoreline. Therefore, this project would not be setting a new precedent based on what currently exists in this community. The proposed stairs and small perched beach would merely be providing the homeowner with an equitable opportunity to access and enjoy the pond that is currently afforded to the majority of their neighbors. 4, please describe how the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. The installation of a natural stone stairway to access the existing dock and a small sitting area, the perched beach, an addition of native plant material would not diminish the values of the surrounding properties because these are common improvements that are implemented on shorefront properties of this nature, as is evident by viewing the neighboring properties. The proposed changes will be subtle from the vantage point of the neighboring properties because there will be very few tree removals, and the footprint of the path and perched beach are small and take advantage of the existing grades to create the most natural appearance and ease of implementation. The values of the surrounding properties would likely be improved based on the proposed improvements due to the addition of native plant material and natural stone that will be part of this project's success. 5A, literal enforcement of the provisions of this ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. This property is distinguished from other similar properties because it is perched high above the pond in elevation and does not currently have safe access to the shoreline or its existing dock, which most of the other surrounding properties have. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance and the specific application of that provision to the property. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would prevent the homeowner from installing stairs to access their dock, which would set them apart from their neighbors who either have a more level piece of land that makes it easy to access the shoreline safely or who already have a set of stairs in place. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the proposed use is a reasonable one. Explain how the special conditions of the property and the zoning restriction interferes with the reasonable use of the property. The proposed use is reasonable because it would allow the homeowner to safely access and enjoy Mount William Pond, which was one of the main reasons that they purchased the property. Article 28.2.7 states that it is the purpose and intent of the Ware zoning ordinance to encourage those low intensity uses that can be harmoniously, appropriately, and safely located close to wetlands. The proposed stairs in Small Perched Beach would allow the homeowner to partake in those low intensity uses that the ordinance wishes to encourage that promote a further appreciation for the importance of protecting these natural resources. In addition, this project as designed would consolidate access and foot traffic along one permanent pathway and sitting area, thus limiting disturbance and foot traffic throughout other areas of the property, which can compact soils and contribute to erosion and inhibit understory growth. Beyond that, the addition of native plant material along the path and around the proposed Perched Beach would contribute to the natural beauty of the shoreline, provide food and habitat for wildlife, reduce erosion, and slow stormwater runoff. Is that the last? That's the last one. Correct? Yeah. Yeah, and then the other was or, which it's not applying.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, any questions of the applicants before we go down for the various prongs? Being none. Okay, Mike, could you prong one, please?
Wait a minute, you gotta butters, yeah.
We need to get
Oh,
a-
I'm sorry. Boy, got too far ahead of myself. Sorry about that. Okay, any approving of butters wish to speak? And Brian Dunbar showed up. Is he somebody for this?
I don't think so.
Jack, I think you're, the only abutter is Zach, and if-
Okay,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay,
So I
Jack,
did have-
are you an approving of butter?
I live across the street, but I did have a question about the beach. I really didn't understand how it was gonna end
Why
up.
don't you try and ask a question and we'll see if you're approving of this for me. How's that?
Okay, yeah. Is this beach going to impact the already limited existing natural waterfront that's on the pond? As Joel has suggested, a lot of the other neighbors on the pond front already have beaches, and there's not a lot of existing trees that are, on the waterfront for natural life to, have their nests and homes in. So I was just curious to see if this beach was going to be, naturally shaded with like a tree, existing shrubbery, like the blueberry bushes that are there now, or is it going to be like a beach like the other ones with just sand and you're going to take out all the trees?
Go
No,
ahead,
yeah.
Steve.
Shall we respond? Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so it's actually going to be very, very small. It's essentially going to take the area where they currently have sort of a dock access space that's level. And it's more of a landing where they can place 2 chairs. There will be sand in that area, but initially we were going to have it be a stone material, just sort of a typical, stone landing. But we chose to opted for the sand because we wanted to actually preserve the natural character, which this would allow us to do more easily by filling in around some of the existing natural boulders that are there. In addition, we're going to actually be adding plants. So if anything, it's not going to change. It's not going to be sand going directly into the water. That's going to be retained by natural boulders and plantings. So actually from the water, the goal is that you're not going to even see it, and not just aesthetically, but it's actually going to prevent sand and sedimentation going into the pond.
Oh, hey, cool. No, I like it. No, I thought they were putting like a big old beach, like 100.
No, yeah, it's kind of misleading, the wording, I know.
Yeah, and in fact, just to kind of give you a point of reference, some of
Your
these
name,
boulders.
please. Your name, please.
I am Porter Weeks of Highland
Thank
Design.
you.
Yep. So just a point of reference, some of these boulders are in the range of 3,000 to 4,000 pounds a piece. So they are to mimic the already existing character of the existing ledge outcropping. So it's really an extension. We're using this material to kind of extend what's already there to create this level perched beach.
Very
to,
cool.
to really integrate this design in a way that almost makes it appear as if it's always existed.
Awesome. Very
Very
cool.
good.
Okay, any other approving of butters wish to speak? Any disapproving of butters wish to speak? I see a Brian Dunbar. Is he still on another one? Naomi?
He may just be someone that's listening in.
Brian, do you wish to speak?
You have to
So
raise
this-
your hand. He has to raise his hand or answer through the chat. That's what people have been doing. No, he's good.
Okay,
Thank you, Brian.
any other approving of butters? Not, I go to disapproving of butters. Public at large? Other boards? Mr. Weeks, if you want, or Ms. Weeks, you want to say anything more, you're welcome to.
One of the biggest things that the homeowner wanted to reiterate very emphatically was that they really don't want to create this, clear cut. They want to maintain as many trees. They like their privacy. They like the character. Their biggest concern, they actually had a fall occur. The homeowner's father-in-law actually had a fall and tumbled down, and that was sort of when they decided that they wanted to do something more permanent that was safer. So the biggest goal for them was safety, and that's their number one priority, but really creating something that looks natural. Anything else for it that you wanted to?
And I would just say we're very cognizant of how this is going to be built. Obviously, there's disturbance in bringing large equipment and this material to be able to make this a reality. But part of, obviously, the pervious system allows us to minimize the disturbance on the existing forest underlying story and existing understory to kind of minimize the impact. As we see in a lot of times in construction, tree decline doesn't show up for years down the road as a result of construction impact. And what we've proposed is really trying to minimize that by using the pervious system. So just wanted to kind of drive home that we're very cognizant of the fact that we really are aiming to minimize the disturbance and creation of this design and project.
Okay, just one other question for me. I see a L1. This is Highland Design. Are you intending to implement to this design?
So we work in conjunction with another company called Stone Blossom. We did the design. We sometimes will also help with the installation, but we're a design firm only, and Stone Blossom is a company that we work with that would be doing the installation.
Well, the reason I ask is this is the design that's being proposed.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hold you accountable to this
Mhm.
L1 design.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yep.
The
And this one
landowner.
has been approved by the wetlands and shoreland. So we do have those permits in hand actually now.
Okay. Public at large, other boards, approving, disapproving of butters? I guess none. Okay, at this point, I'm going to close down the public meeting. And Mike, would you please do prong one?
Move to accept prong one.
And I'd like the condition to include design to be consistent, to be compliant to L1.
I'll amend that. So move to accept prong one with the condition that the design remain consistent with the L1 that's in our package.
I use the word compliant.
Compliant. Okay.
Thank you. All right. I did go on the second. Thank you, Bobby. Discussion. I did go on the property. I met the owner, and I went down one way and came up another. There is all the trees are still there. Large pines, oaks. I think there was some beeches, and I went down where they're not building which would probably be just about the corner of both the stairs are. I went directly down over the hill, and you see the larger trees there. And there is a little bit of a flat area where they want to have the Perched Beach, and there is an existing dock which goes on the property. And I went up after talking to the owner. It was nice enough to show me, and I went up where the route is, where they're going up. And I got to be honest with you, this is at least a 45-degree angle going down. So it is pretty treacherous, and there's rocks and boulders and stumps that are there, small stumps. So it's consistent with what I heard the porters the weeks mention. Okay, any other discussion?
I just
Bobby
wanted
Joe?
to, I'll say something. Looking at the pictures, it does look unusable in the current state. And the design layout is kind of attractive. It does look nice with minimal impact. So it's a nice design.
Thanks, Mike.
I agree. I think the plan looks really great. I think, I've spent a lot of time kayaking out on Mount William. And of course, to buy a waterfront property, you want to be able to get to your dock without breaking your ankle. I think a lot of care and integrity with the filter stocks and using the type of stone that you're using. I just think it looks like it's taking the environment into consideration.
Mike?
I would agree with that, and just add that, from the steepness of the property, without it, if it is used at all, you'd have potential erosion issues, which would go against what the ordinance, I think, is there to protect in the first place. So this makes good sense to me.
Malcolm?
I think it's all good. I think it's sympathetic with the pond, sympathetic to the users, and it's sympathetic to the spirit of the ordinance.
Thank you, Malcolm. Okay, at that point, Mike, you vote?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
And Jack? Aye. That's 5-0. 2. Oh, by the way, I'd like to also note there are topography marks, lines on this diagram. And you can see this pretty steep. So I think that's I forget what, trying to figure that out. I think this is a 2-foot gradient going down.
Correct.
Okay. All right, 2. Mike?
Move to accept prong 2.
Thank you. Bobby, second? Thank you, Bobby. Be a discussion. I think they're trying to protect the wetland, be it the shoreline. And that's certainly in the spirit of the ordinance. And I think they're trying to do the minimum impact to make a safe access to the property, to the water. Mike?
I would agree.
Bobby?
Yes, I agree that it goes with the character of the neighborhood.
Mark?
Yeah, it's been covered. Yep.
Thank you. And Malcolm?
All good.
Thank you, sir. Okay, at this point, take a vote. Mike?
Aye.
Puppy Joe?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
And Malcolm?
Aye.
Thank you. 5-0. And myself, aye, 5-0. 3?
Move to accept prong 3.
Thank you. Bobby?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. I think substantial justice to the property, and I don't see any downside for the town. So I think we hit it all before. Mike?
Aye. I
No,
would. Sorry.
we ain't quite there yet.
Sorry. I would agree with that.
Okay, thank you.
Looking
Bobby?
down in the positive.
Yes, I think we've covered it.
Mark?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just gonna say
Any-
that, if anything, there's gonna be an injury on that hill before, which would require town service,
Good point. And Malcolm?
I was thinking the same thing. Good
Thank you.
point, Mark.
At that point, I'd like to take the vote. Mike, you can say one.
Aye.
Thank you. Bobby,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm,
Aye.
myself, aye, 5-0. And 4,
Move to accept prong 4.
Second.
thank you for the second. And I don't think this bothers any of the surrounding properties. Yeah, not gonna say anymore. Mike, regarding that,
I'd agree with that.
Bobby,
Yes.
Mark,
Yep.
Malcolm,
Yep.
thank you. We'll vote. Mike,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Malcolm.
Aye.
Myself, aye, 5-0. And 5 is an entirety,
Move to accept prong 5 in its entirety.
okay?
Second.
Uh, I would think by denying this would be certainly an unnecessary hardship. And I think this is a reasonable use for the property. It's been used over the years, I'm sure. I don't know how long the house has been there, but it's been there since for a long time. And I just think it's putting it in a proper state for people to use it. Okay, Mark, Mike, any discussion?
I would agree with that statement.
Bobby,
No discussion.
Mark,
I just wanted to confirm that the plan would be followed respectfully. Yeah,
yes, compliant,
compliant.
shall be compliant.
Yeah,
There's not much wiggle room there.
and that's attached to this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's L, it's the last, next to the last page or whatever, close to the end.
Okay.
It's the second large pullout. Highlands Design, and it's called Wetlands Plan Permit L. And the date on that, just for getting it documented, it's April 15th, 2021. Malcolm?
Nothing to add.
Thank you, sir. Okay, at this point, Mike?
Aye.
Oh, aye. Bobby?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
And Jack? Aye. Very good. Get your variance. Have a good evening.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Appreciate your time.
Take care.
Last item on the agenda. There is a request for rehearing. And this is a case was decided, case number 13-2020. Gil and Shelley Duquette, owner, Travis, the appellate, 271 Quaker Street, tax map 404, lot 84, residential zone. A request for rehearing, Travis Cochran requests that the ZBA rehear the variance application for construction of a garage within the setbacks. Just a note here, ZBA will take no input on this item. Should the rehearing be granted, the board shall determine the scope of the rehearing and whether further testimony will be taken. Okay, I'll take this opportunity to move the following. After consulting with counsel, that's town council, and pursuant with RSA 677:3, I move that we suspend our decision to allow us to clarify it. That was the decision for case 1322. No new hearing will be held. We will only be further explaining the decision that has already been made. The meeting will be held on July 13th, I should say this case will be taken up for that point purpose of discussion on July 13th, 2021. Do I have a second?
Oh,
Mark, you second it?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Thank you. Any discussion on this?
No, I feel that with all things considered, we've all put in a lot of time, and I feel like this is a smart move.
Mike?
No, nothing to add.
Okay, thank you. Malcolm and Bobby?
I'm not adverse to clarity.
Okay,
It's fine.
Bobby?
Yes, I would like to
Thank you.
go for it, so we can go for it, yeah.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna, no further discussion. At this point, I'm gonna take a vote. All those in favor of voting, or you can vote the way you want. Mike,
I'm going to abstain from this vote.
okay. Malcolm,
I'm also going to abstain.
okay. Bobby?
Yes.
Bobby's yes. Mark?
Aye.
Yes, and myself, yes. So we will on July 13th, 2021, we will take up an expanded discussion on our decision. With that, only thing I think we got left now is minutes. It's rather a huge tome that we're dealing with, some 51 pages. There was one item that I found, believe it or not, and page 39, right after point 7 of zoning board of adjustment, the chair asked the applicant would like to speak to the butters. I think what I asked, and it would be typical of this position of the meeting, would be that I asked of the board any questions of the applicant. So if you could strike everything after the chair asked, and ask the board if they have any questions of the applicant. That's page 39, just after the paragraph with the number 7. Okay, now let me say she's got it. Motion to accept, Mike, minutes from May 4th.
Move to accept the May 4th zoning board of adjustment minutes as amended.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mike?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
And Malcolm?
Aye.
And I myself. Okay, so that's 5-0. And just I think we ought to put it in the form of a motion. We will move the July 6th meeting of 2020 zoning board July 6th meeting to July 13th and post appropriately.
Second.
Thank you, Bobby. Discussion? Did I say it right, Naomi?
Yes. We
Good.
don't know, right, we don't know yet until the governor decides on June 11th if we're going to remain remote or if we're going to remain in person, but we'll post it appropriately as the decision's made.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Being none, all in favor? Mike?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
And Malcolm. Everybody
Aye.
moves around on the screen. Okay,
Move to adjourn.
thank you,
I'll second.
thank you. Being no discussion, I hope. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Everybody says aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good evening and happy 4th of July.
You too.
Yes, you too.
You.